All right, we are looking at our test review. So I'm going to go over each of these as best I can so that you can have all of your information available. Okay. So we are looking at, ooh, hold on. Number 1 here. And we end up having a translation. And it goes x plus 4, comma, y minus 9. It went to the right 4, and it went down 9 to get from A, B, C to image A, image B, image C. 4 to the right, 9 down. Okay. For number 2, we're reflecting over x equals 1. That's that dotted line right here. When we reflect, sorry that this is not the best quality. It goes 1, 2, 3. It's reflected. So our image, there's no talking. If you can't be quiet, you need to leave. We have image A is now 3, negative 2. Image B, I'm real serious about this, people. Image B is negative 2, negative 1. And image C is 0, 1. I reflected across the line, so it changed my points to those. Now, I know the line is at negative 1. Don't measure from there. Always measure from 0, 0. Okay. Number 3. When I reflect across the y-axis, I am using the formula negative xy. If you think of it this way too, if I've got negative 2, 4, and I'm reflecting across the y-axis, it's moved over here. Okay? So it becomes 2, comma, 4. All right. The one I have the most questions about. Remember, this is kind of like parentheses. You do this second one first and then this one. This one says reflect across y equals 0. Whenever y is 0. That's like the x-axis. So I'm going from here to here. So my formula is x comma negative y. So I should change all of my y values. I'm switching the signs. So if they're positive, it becomes negative. If it's negative, it becomes positive. Okay, once I do that, I am taking 2 away. So I'm going x comma y minus 2. I'm subtracting all from all the y values. So my final result should be A double prime should be 2, negative 5. B should be negative 4, negative 8. And C should be 0, 0. Okay, before we move on, do I have any questions about this first page? Yes, Madison. Okay, because I'm reflecting across the y-axis. This is the y. Y is up and down. So my y value did not change. It just moved to the other side. But instead of negative 2 away, 2 to the left, it's now 2 to the right away from the y-axis. Nope. Totally separate. Okay. Let's turn this over. All right. These are all asking you to draw a vector. A vector is from one to the other. What is happening? Okay? They're all, like, these are going up and to the side. These are just going to the right. This is just going straight up. Okay? What I'm going to do for you guys on the test is there will be a picture and there will be kind of a grid and there will be a vector. Okay? So if we have a vector like this, it'll be drawn in there that it'll be like over 3. 1, 2, 3. So that will be your vector, for example. And so if you have a vector that looks like that, which one is it? Is it A, C, B, or D? B, because it says it's going over 3. Okay? So that's what you're going to have. It's going to be like a multiple choice question. Okay? So I just wanted you to draw all your vectors in so you kind of see where they're going. Okay? Like this one, I'm going over 3, up 3. It's going to the right, 3, up 3. So if I had my like little grid thing here, it would be look like that, right? Over 3, up 3. So if I had that vector, I would know it was A. Yes.
So how do we know it's not going down?
It'll like all of these. See, all of these are in the same exact spot.
Oh, okay.
So it's the other one that changed, and it'll be. I think that's pretty clear on the test. Okay. Number 6. I want to know what happens from triangle RSQ to image RQS. What happened to get to one from the other? It is a 90-degree clockwise rotation. You're right, it's counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. You're right. Rotation. Now, you could put it is 270, which is a clockwise rotation, going that way. Either one is correct. Yes? It is 90 degrees counterclockwise or 270 clockwise. Okay, yes, Madison. Yes, so you can, that's what I always do. I know some people can just see it. It doesn't work that way for me. So like I looked at R was 4, -1, and R image is 1, 4. So I'm like, okay, so I went from X, Y to -Y, X. Oh, okay, now I know that that's a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation. I have to like see it. Okay, number 7. If I reflect over line 1 and over line P and then over line N, I get this. But if I want to go from the start to the finish and skip the middle, what's happening? 180-degree rotation. Does it matter if it's counterclockwise or clockwise? Because I end up in the same spot. Okay. Any questions about this page before we move to the next one? If it's counterclockwise or clockwise? No. Nope. Okay. Number 8. It says graph line X equals 3. Find a second line so that the composite of the two reflections will translate 8 units. So, what do we know the distance between my two lines of reflections have to be to get a translation of 8 units? Okay, because we know 2 times the second line of translation minus the first, or the difference between, equals the translation. So if my translation is 8, the distance between those two has to be 4. So what, if this is 3, my other one has to be 4 away, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one right here is X equals 3. This one is X equals 7. And I'm not going to go through and reflect both of them to prove it to you because I know this is true, but you can do that. Okay, so what is my composite? What is my composite? Is anything happening when I reflect this? I'm moving 8 units to the right, which means I do what? X what? Plus 8? Because adding is to the right. Is my Y changing at all? No. This part and X equals 7 because I did this. Those two things you get 100%. If you want to reflect it, you can. Yes?
So, which one are we doing?
You reflect over X equals 3. Once you've done that new one, you reflect over X equals 7.
Oh.
And it will move 8 units to the right. To the right. It's going to be over here. If you reflect it over x equals 3, and then that new one reflected over x equals 7, it moves to the right. Okay, so C didn't move. B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here is your first one. Now I'm taking that information and I'm reflecting it over x equals 7. This is 1 away. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. I have moved my blue one has moved 8 units to the right. It's original. Okay. Number 9. Okay, first I am going to reflect over x equals 0. So that's negative xy. Then I'm going to reflect over y equals 0. That's x negative y. So I'm going to go from 3, negative 2 to negative 3, negative 2. I am then going to go from negative 3, negative 2 to negative 3, 2. I'm changing this middle one to go to the last one. Instead of 1, negative 6, it's negative 1, negative 6. Then it becomes negative 1, 6. It's 6, negative 10 becomes negative 6, negative 10. Then it becomes negative 6, 10. If I want to go from the top to the bottom and skip the middle, it goes negative x, negative y, and that is a 180-degree rotation.
For B, wouldn't that be just regular 6?
Nope, because it doesn't change. See how y doesn't change? Y doesn't change for any of them. You're reflecting over x equals 0 first.
Yeah, so that would be that.
Yes.
Yeah, so wouldn't you be going up first, not the left?
Yes. You end up with the same result. Yeah. Okay. Next page. Madison, what? What? Yes. I'm not sure why anybody else is talking. I used this point to get here, and then I used these points to get there. It tells me right here, I'm reflecting over x equals 0, and then y equals 0. Okay, next page. We've done quite a bit of these. First, we start with drawing a straight line that goes through A. There's no talking. We've tried to make this very specific, where we reflect over line 1 and then over line 2. A to line 1 is x. We reflect that over line 1. We get A image is x away. A to line 2 we're going to say is y. Remember, I have to reflect this whole thing over here. That's y, x, x is image A. Line 1 to line 2 is how much? A to A double prime is what? Okay, what did this result in? A to A double image resulted in A what? What? Translation, reflection, rotation, dilation. A to A double image is A translation. Okay. If you have all those things, you will get 100% on that part. The thing that we need to make sure we have on there is that word translation. I haven't always had you guys do that. Okay, number 11. Drawing a line from A to where it intersects. A to line 1 is X. I'm reflecting it over line 1. Image A, I get X. Image A to line 2 is Y. Then I'm reflecting that over line 2. Y. Okay? Line 1 to line 2 is how much? X plus y degrees. What's A to A double image, guys? 2x plus 2y degrees. And what resulted? A to A double image is a what? Is it a translation, rotation, reflection, or dilation from here to here? This is real important, guys. A to A double prime is a rotation. When we reflect over parallel lines, we get a translation. When we reflect over two intersecting lines, we get a rotation. Remember, you need to have X, X, Y, Y, those listed. It doesn't have to be those letters specifically, but it needs to be the same on each side of reflection. You need to have A image, A double image. Line 1 to line 2 is X plus Y degrees. A to A double prime is 2X plus 2Y degrees, and then it's a rotation. You need to have all those parts to get full credit. All right, turn your paper over. We're looking at a dilation first. This is where you need your ruler. I'm going to measure from A to B, and A to B, I'm going to say is 3.5. Then I'm going to measure from A to C. I'm going to call that 2. Then I'm going to measure from A to D. I'm going to call that 4. Okay. I want a 1.5 factor, dilation. So my new A to B, A to B image should be 5.25. Do you see that I took this and I multiplied it by that? Now I have to measure it from A, and I want 5.25. That's my new B. C, 2 times 1.5. A to my new C is 3. So A to C, I'm measuring out 3. That's my new C. Okay? A to D image is 6. 4 times 1.5 is 6. Okay, then you connect these together. And I have my new dilated triangle that's 1.5 times as big. Questions about dilation? Yes? No. I'm more looking that these are the same and that you've measured from A. Some people like to measure from like D, and it messes up your whole triangle, and then it's more than 1.5 times as big. Okay. Number 13. What happens? Is it a translation, rotation, reflection, or dilation? Rotation. I find that patty paper works best for this to find the center, but the center is around here. Okay? So I've marked that as the center. So I'm going to draw a little angle right there, measure that angle. I get around, what do you guys say, 40 degrees? 46 degrees? And I'm going from here to here. Is that clockwise or counterclockwise? Counterclockwise. And you're done. Okay. Number 14. What's happening with these two? This is B image, A image, C image, correct? There are two things that are happening here. What two things? Reflection and a? Okay. Okay. So if we reflect here, then we can like connect them. And my center is somewhere around here. You can do it either direction. The big issue is that you find the difference between them. Like this is 2.5. This is 5, so it's a negative 1/2 dilation. Okay? And remember, the last problem on your test will be that like writing part where you're explaining it. Because it went down and to the left. If it went up and to the right, it would be positive. Okay. Any questions on this last page before we finish? Any questions about the whole thing? Like I went over it too fast, you don't get it. Which one? 8. Okay. So, I am reflecting it over 2 lines, right? And when we reflect over 2 parallel lines, we get a translation. Okay, so this is my first. I've reflected the green one. Now I'm taking the green one and reflecting it over x equals 7, and that gave me the blue one. So don't go back to the original image. Do the second one. Yeah, a lot of people make that mistake. Remember, when we're reflecting something over 2 things, reflect the new one you made over the last one. I think that helps. Others? Okay, so what are you going to do tonight?
Study.
Okay, you're going to study this. So going over this, studying is not reading this again. Studying is covering this up and trying it again and see if you get the same answers. So you should have paper out in front of you to do that.
Hey, what if you already know the answers by memorization?
That does not help you. You can get out your old reviews for your old quizzes to do if that is helpful.
Okay.
You could also do any missing assignments. That helps you. Okay, because everything we've done so far this quarter is on this test. Okay, it's all on transformations. Okay. Wanted to make sure I have that on record that I told you to study that way.